Now, the North West Municipality failed to obtain a clean audit in its 22 municipalities. 43% of the municipality's money was spent irregularly. This is all according to the Auditor General of South Africa, Tsakani Maluleke's latest report. To speak more on this, we're joined by governance expert, Professor Theo Venter. Professor Venter, very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Does it come as a surprise? Tenders for family, false declarations and shoddy record keeping?
Hi, no, it doesn't come as a surprise, but I think we need a perspective about the North West Province. When the Auditor General provides the report, we must remember that that report is a picture of what happened a year ago. In other words, we are talking about a group of councillors in the North West before the election of November last year. So it is, in fact, a measurement of when things were really very bad in the North West Province. And if we want to measure the current group of councillors, it would probably be best to do that in 2023 to provide them some time to see if they can bring about a change. So just that perspective, what is said is true, but it is of the North West Province a year ago.
So what do we need to understand going forward with these figures being unveiled by the Auditor General, and also looking at the quality of leadership, because management and leadership have been elements that have come out very strongly?
Yeah, absolutely. Governance issues and political instability has been part of the province. It has been part of the province ever since the Premier Supra Mapelo was lifted out of governance, taken over by Premier Job Magoro, and he now has been replaced by Premier Bushimape. And he tells you a story of a province that has also been under administration and had a problem with the capacity in itself to manage what goes on in the provinces. I've been witness in one of these meetings in the North West Province where a meeting was called and executive mayors were asked to attend. And of the 2022 executive mayors we've got in the province, I think 5 or 6 attended. Now, that just cannot work. You need the provinces and the local governments to work together. But there is in the Constitution a rider that provides them the opportunity to do what they've done, and that is that the Constitution says that local government is a separate and autonomous level of government. Unless we change that, or unless we do something to make interventions a little bit more, to give it a little bit more teeth, I don't think we will see a lot of change.
A province that was under administration and then intervention then stabilized it, but service delivery failures still persist.
Yeah, it definitely still persists. What the current Premier has done, especially about sanitation and water, is to establish in his office a war room to see if they can do something about it, if they can bring about short-term interventions so as to assist people. And similar plans are on the way with potholes and roads and things like that. So there are definitely plans and there are definitely actions happening. But I think the province went so deep into functionality that it is very difficult to bring about a change. And I think this is a challenge for the ruling party in this province. There will be provincial and national elections in about 2 years' time, and it's not a long time to change things around if they want to stay in power.
Policy changes have come out very strongly as the Auditor General was speaking, in terms of the flexibility that allows councillors to almost do as they please with not much accountability. What's your take on the changes that need to take place to improve and better the situation?
Yeah, well, as we speak, we are waiting for the final report of the Zondo Commission. And what I'm linking between Zondo and local government via the province is that one of the recommendations, I'm sure, that we have seen from Zondo so far, and he will reiterate in his final report, is the oversight function. In other words, You've got executive functions, that is the people doing the work and implementing the policy and so on. But your legislature, your local council, must do the oversight. But if you've got a system where there's no oversight, then it allows for these huge opportunities for corruption, nepotism, and everything that goes about. So the big challenge for local government is to re-establish your oversight function, to make sure that the money, the public's money, is spent well and not we don't lose it through the drain of corruption.
And in terms of accountability, do you see that now being, highlighted even more when it comes to municipalities and the work of the hawks and in holding people accountable? Do you think that it's enough to now force the municipal leaders to perhaps take better care of the purse?
Yes, I can definitely see changes happening. For instance, in the JB Marks municipality, the executive mayor is currently out on bail. There is something happening there. There's investigations in several local governments. But we must remember that when the hawks do these investigations, it takes time for them to develop a good portfolio, a good case. Because if they go to court with a bad case, they're going to lose the situation. So to change around these things is not going to be quick, it's not going to be easy, and it's going to place a lot of pressure on current resources. But I can see in several of the local governments in Northwest that there are things happening, things such as an outreach to the private sector to assist. I can see an outreach to business chambers, to the farming community, to several other people and several other institutions, and of course the most important, outreach to local communities that has been very badly managed and serviced through the past 5-6 years. But it will take time for the people to establish confidence again in governments once they've lost the confidence through lack of water, lack of sanitation, and poor other services, especially infrastructure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.